Welcome to Dr. Balaga's God Knowledge Doc podcast, your quick dive into the latest medical breakthroughs to keep you ahead of the curve. Let's get started. Today is July 30th, 2025. This video is on a JAMA article published on July 28th titled Structured versus Self-Guided Multi-Domain Lifestyle Interventions for Cognitive Function, the US Pointer Randomized Clinical Trial. There was an accompanying editorial titled Lifestyle Interventions to Improve Cognition in Later Life. When is enough enough? Dementia is a growing global burden with limited pharmacologic therapies. Non-drug lifestyle interventions targeting multiple modifiable risk factors holds promise. The US Pointer trial tested if structured or self-guided interventions improve cognition in at-risk older adults. It was a multi-center, single-blind, randomized trial. The cohort consisted of 2,111 adults, mean age 68.2 years, 69% were women. Inclusion aged 60 to 79, sedentary, suboptimal diet, plus two or more other risk criteria. The groups are divided into two groups, structured with 1,056 individuals, and versus self-guided with 1,055 individuals. Duration 2 years with follow-up every 6 months. The outcomes change in composite cognitive Z-score for executive function, memory, and processing speed. Statistics, mixed effects models with covariate adjustment, p-value less than 0.05 was considered significant. So when you look at the structured group, there had 38 meetings over 2 years. They were encouraged to do aerobic exercise, cognitive engagement. There was dietary support, health monitoring, behavioral support with certified interventionalists, and there was adherence tracking. While for the self-guided intervention group, it was self-monitoring, and they only had 6 meetings over 2 years. What did they find? Cognitive scores increased in both groups. Structured group the standard deviation was more than 0.243 per year, while in the self-guided group it was 0.213 standard deviations per year. The difference was 0.029 standard deviations per year, 95% confidence interval 0.008 to 0.050, but the p-value is equivalent to 0.008. The benefits are stronger in participants with lower baseline cognition, p-value 0.02. Limitations: no true control group, practice effects are possible. Self-report bias and intervention intensity not equal. Key takeaways: structured lifestyle interventions modestly enhance global cognition over 2 years. Multi-domain approaches are safe, feasible, and scalable. More research is needed to assess clinical significance and long-term outcomes. The US Pointer trialists plan an extended 4-year follow-up to determine whether the modest cognitive benefits seen over 2 years in the structured intervention group translate into meaningful clinical outcomes such as reduced incidence of mild cognitive impairment or dementia. I would argue we need 10-year follow-up. The accompanying editorial by Jonathan Short says up to 45% of dementia may be preventable by modifying 14 risk factors like high blood pressure, depression, hearing loss. He goes on to say that the trial showed modest but statistically significant cognitive benefits from structured lifestyle interventions. The structured arm had intensive regime, 38 sessions, 26 calls, the mind diet, cognitive training, while the self-guided arm required far less input. Executive function improved more than memory, possibly reflecting cerebrovascular rather than Alzheimer-related benefits. The key concerns: there was no control group, unclear long-term durability, and the questions about cost-effectiveness. The editorial emphasizes feasibility, high adherence, and even modest interventions may yield public health benefits. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with your colleagues. When we change how we see disease, we change how we shape lives. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep seeking wisdom. podcast brought to you by Master Medfacts at mastermedfacts.com.